Hey everybody, I just finished another book in the Shivers series. This is The Ghosts of Devil's Marsh. This was a book that was recommended to me by Spongy. He has his own YouTube channel and all that good stuff and Instagram page. He's a very good expert on these like children's literature, horror stuff, and all that good stuff. He usually sends out pretty good recommendations, so yeah. He said that this is the best book in the Shiver series, and I did really like this one up until, well, let me start that over. I really enjoyed this one, and up until the very last chapter, I didn't think that this was going to be like my favorite so far, but the very last chapter tied everything perfectly together. I didn't think that Indy Spencer could do that, and he did. He proved me wrong. But yeah, this was definitely a fun one. The story, let's start with the cover first. This cover's one of the best covers, too. A hand sticking out of a graveyard, a bunch of crows and stuff in a cemetery. Very awesome cover. Very awesome book. But yeah. The story itself starts off with Sammy, or Samantha. She's going to go stay with some relatives while her mom is going to like France to do some kind of work or whatever. Her dad passed away a while back ago. And so she has to go stay with some relatively distant family members. And it's an aunt and uncle, and they got like 3 kids, I think. And it's Adam, Andy, and Alfie is the kids' names. The aunt's like Sylvia. I don't remember the dad's name. Matter of fact, the kids' names, they got very confusing. Like I kept forgetting who Andy and Adam were. I mean, they could have named them anything else. But yeah. So they go. She goes to stay with this family member, and these family members. And when she goes there, they're outside playing or doing something, and this lightning storm comes by, and it strikes this tree. Lightning strikes a tree, and she runs inside because she's really freaked out about what's going on or whatever, or this storm or whatever. And she starts feeling kind of funny and all this good stuff. So she starts talking to Adam, try to be friends with him and stuff, and he starts telling her, or the younger brother, whichever one that is, not Adam. Adam forgot his name. Andy, yeah. He starts talking about like there's like ghost stories and stuff about the marsh out behind, like where the beach is at and all that. And basically, they start getting into these ghost stories, and he tells her that his brother, again, Andy, Adam, whatever. The older brother heard, actually saw a ghost. And the ghost stories in this book are actually insane. The first ghost story is basically this woman gave birth to this baby, and an alligator came into their house and ate the baby, which was incredibly dark, but that's nothing. There's another story about this family that they're like growing up, like raising cattle and stuff, and one of their pigs got loose, and the daughter runs out to go get the pig, and she ends up drowning inside the marsh, and her father, grief-stricken, ends up offing himself, this is a children's book, might I add you. I've heard these are pretty dark, and this has to be the darkest that I've read so far. Yeah, this kind of intrigues Samantha to actually go out and see all these ghosts and stuff. She gets interested. So they do one day. They get on their bikes and they take off riding to go somewhere. And the kids end up leaving Samantha by herself, and she ends up getting lost. She sees this weird bird fly through, and she kind of follows it into this graveyard. And inside the graveyard, she kind of thinks that she sees like a snake arguing with this bird. I know this sounds like I'm talking like I've done drank something. I promise you I have not. This is part of the story. She sees this bird go into the graveyard, and inside the graveyard she sees her, like this family member's last name, her mom's maiden name, on the graveyards. And she even sees a grave marker named after her, like Samantha McMillan. She even sees that, which is incredibly creepy. She's scared. She ends up knocking the statue off of a graveyard, or grave marker, and it's a heart. And she takes it home to fix it. And so she takes off, and she ends up getting even more lost, and she runs into this weird old lady. And this weird old lady says that she has like the devil's power, where she can actually see stuff that happens. And that's why she saw this bird arguing with a snake, and yeah. The next night she's in bed. She sees like what she thinks is a fire outside, and she gets up to go tell her aunt and uncle, and they are wide awake. They don't see anything. She doesn't see anything. She's freaked out. She tells Adam. Adam ends up telling her that there's one more ghost story that he didn't tell her about, but he didn't know anything about it. And basically, the marsh has this very narrow road, and these cars, fly by, and there's a lot of wrecks that happen, and people end up passing away, and people say that they can see ghosts out there. Yeah, and so she's basically cursed by seeing all this crazy stuff. She knows that there is this lady tells her that she's cursed at one that she sees in the woods or whatever. And they end up going back to figure out, what's going on, like how can I stop this? And she gives her the reveal on how to end this curse, and she doesn't tell her exactly what's going on. This is an answer that only her aunt can answer, and that's where I'm going to leave this book. Hopefully I didn't give away too much. But yeah, this book was awesome. One of the better Shivers books in the series. The only negatives I really have is it felt a little random at times. Like, there's literally a scene just out of the blue where this alligator is crossing the marsh trying to chase one of the kids. There's, like, snakes. The trippy ghost stories were really cool. One ghost story I forgot to even mention was Adam mentions that he's seen a ghost, and what he sees is absolutely incredible. But it's a ghost that comes out of this tree that got struck by lightning, and the ghost opens its mouth, and a bunch of these gremlin little monster things start flying after him. He admits that this was just a story, but that part was just awesome. I don't know if that's another scene in a Shivers book, but I hope it is. That's really the only complaints I really had about this was the randomness of it, and it was kind of towards the middle. It was kind of hard to keep up with everything that was going on because there's a lot crammed into this one little book. It's only 120 pages, and there is a ton of stuff that it's just weird. And the mind dream sequence type stuff I usually don't like, but this one here, it was kind of a weird dream sequence where it was only stuff that she could see, so it counted. As far as if this is the best of the Shiver series so far, I would say yes. Mainly because of the ending. The ending is very sad, very heartbreaking, but also very happy in a way. There's a character in this book that I did not like up towards the end. I was like, this all this person's fault, and all this stuff. And towards the end, it actually ended on a very nice note that is the way it should have ended. As far as that goes, The Ghost of Devil's Marsh, I give it a 4 out of 5 stars. I don't think it's perfect, but it is as close to perfect as Shivers can probably get. I know that I really enjoyed the Your Mama's a Werewolf book. I think this one is slightly better, but only a little bit. The ending is a lot better, but I think that they're pretty close in terms of my favorites personally. But yeah, The Ghost of Devil's Marsh, one of the better books in the Shiver series. I highly recommend it. Please let me know in the comments below if you've read it. Shout out to Spongy for telling me this book is one of the best ones. I do plan on reading some more of these Shivers books. I'm not going to say anything yet. The Ghost of Devil's Marsh, 4 out of 5 stars from me, guys. Please let me know in the comments below. What did you think about this book? That's it from me, guys. Bye.